Hello, my name is Gillian Smith, and I'm a student in the Leadership Studies with Deakin in the Grad Cert for Leadership. Um, the purpose of this video is to give some insights and highlights of my research plan for MPL701. My research plan topic is the Tucson Guardian Center Staff Retention Strategy. And the reason or the objective for this study is that in 2018-2019, Seeing Machines Limited embarked on a groundbreaking strategy to provide employment opportunities for neurodiverse people in the new Guardian Monitoring Center located in Canberra, ACT. So one of the key objectives was to ensure higher staff retention by providing a follow-the-sun approach for global service delivery with Tucson. And this would mean that 24-hour shifts usually manned by Tucson-based staff would be split into two 12-hour shifts, alternating between the US and Australia. This research plan is focused on the next phase of Project Embrace by addressing retention rates in the Guardian Center in Tucson. And based on the successes we've had in the Canberra Guardian Monitoring Center, we are quite optimistic that the next phase of the research will provide much more evidence of how we can improve systems and human resource management in Tucson. So our main focus at this moment is, and our problem that we've identified is the high turnover or retention rates that are specifically linked to the Guardian Monitoring Center in Tucson. So I've decided to go with a mixed method approach in the research, and I've designed my research plan according to this mixed method approach because I already have quantitative data from phase 1, which is research project 1, to use as a basis for this second part. So in executing this design, I've had some challenges. To understand the challenges, you in essence need to understand the operations within a Guardian Monitoring Center in the Seeing Machines context. So I'm the Learning and Development Manager, and this company is a technology company specializing in artificial intelligence machine learning. So we've got unique algorithms in software engineering design, and the company provides a driver fatigue and distraction monitoring service based on this. So we deliver this service from the Guardian Centers located in Tucson and now most recently in Canberra. And we have a global client base. Our challenge is that the fundamentals we experience in leadership, yes, they may still be evident today, but how do we make that applicable in the modern day context and in specifically our technology, artificial intelligence environment? Now that's the challenge. And then making sure that the messaging is consistent and authentic across a global dispersion of employees is another big challenge. So the Seeing Machines Guardian Center operates on a 12-hour shift with 6 analysts and a supervisor for every 12-hour shift. That means we have 1 analyst for every 3,000 vehicles monitored. And in total, we are monitoring 20,000 vehicles. So in essence, you can see the challenge for an analyst and the stresses that may apply. Hence, we need to research and explore why. We need to gather data as to why we have such a high employment turnover, or what we would call a staff turnover. And so in designing this research plan, I had to take careful note of quite a few key elements. I had to look at what existed data I have. I have staff engagement survey data because our company conducts a staff engagement survey annually in December, and I've managed to obtain the data for 2018 December and 2019 December, and it's given me a really good basis for formulating my plan. So understanding the Guardian Center analyst role is pivotal in designing this research plan. I had issues to consider that were integral to the role, like burnout, what could possibly be some factors that contribute to the high staff turnover. In my research, in phase one, in December 2018 to June 2019, my hypothesis was based on the repetitive nature of the analyst's work and the role that would be appealing to high-functioning neurodiverse candidates with an instrument in conducting repetitive work tasks. So if they were interested in something like that, the hypothesis would hold true. And the research approach was looking at employing neurodiverse people, the rationale for that. The mixed method research I conducted was based on gathering quantitative and qualitative data using a focus group in December 2018. So the control group participants were from different stakeholder groups. The outcomes were phenomenal. The outcomes were so that the problem was clearly identified, and the construct then, based on that outcome, the research resulted in Seeing Machines securing government funding and establishing a Guardian Centre in Canberra, with shifts reducing to 12 hours. So the Follow the Sun approach with the Tucson Guardian Centre was then commenced. And we have 18 persons of neurodiverse orientation working in the Canberra Centre. Now the next problem needs to be solved, which is this research design part 2. And my question is basically, how do I create professional development opportunities for individuals that inspire them to stay whilst feeling supported and valued? And in so doing, I designed a survey tool with a pilot study, and I decided to isolate my pilot study group to the Canberra participants, excluding the Tucson participants, with the aim of, once the pilot study is completed and I've made recommendations for changes within the study and I've received recommendations from respondents, I will modify the survey to the point where I can roll it out to Tucson staff in the very near future. So the results from the pilot study, I've managed to record quite a few feedback remarks from staff who participated in that. But the data analysis methodology I followed was basically a sequential mixed method data collection process. And in my response document, the two processes are stepwise aligned, and with the emergence of all the data, I merged the data in an Excel spreadsheet using the corresponding identifiers. There was quite a few ethical considerations to be made. I also identified some potential limitations. And then with the pilot study results discussion, I finally found that there were some emergent key themes. Now, when I first started the design of the second phase research plan, my key themes covered employee engagement outcomes, career growth and development, communication and transparency, resources, individual employee needs and recognition, manager effectiveness, and team dynamics. But I had some emergent key themes. And some of the key things that came out was during the interview process, the majority of the respondents elaborated on the closed question in the survey that addressed recognition for effort, expressing that they feel there is no formal recognition of their contribution. Management transparency. Individuals experience feelings of confusion due to lack of management transparency when implementing the changes. In the open-ended question feedback and interview process, this trend was particularly mentioned by the majority of the respondents. So the results that I found, some of the key themes that emerged from the pilot survey shows that there is uncertainty from 80% of the group regarding staff commitment to organizational goals. And in terms of long-term career growth and development in the company, 25% feel uncertain, and 37.5% feel that there are definitely no opportunities. And during the interview process, the majority lean towards feelings of desperation that they have very limited career and future growth opportunities, which tends to lean to substantiating the hypothesis that there's a high turnover of staff due to dissatisfaction with the circumstance in which they work. Still doesn't give me conclusive evidence, though. This was only a small sample. So in the discussion of this paper, there's some authentic research evidence that is required to make a considered quality business case for a radical change in how the Tucson Guardian Center operates in terms of human resource management and the leadership approach that supports an improved operational model. And I'm keen to roll out this research to actually have evidence and provide a substantiated business case. Thank you for your time.